Hello, everyone, and welcome to my little roundup of thoughts about Gamescom 2025. This was my first time ever at Gamescom, and I'm so pleased I went. I managed to play a few new games, I saw booths of my favourites, I collected some freebies, and just generally had a great time. So, as I said, this was my first time here. For some reason, I assumed it was in the US. I don't know why, but when I saw it being advertised for World of Warcraft, I thought, well, now I'm interested. Germany is so much more achievable. And then Love and Deepspace revealed a booth, and I went and bought tickets. So Gamescom is massive. For those of you who don't know or have not been, this year it saw 357,000 visitors from 128 countries. It used 233,000 meters of exhibition space across 10 halls, and the opening night live stream has had something like 72 million views, or maybe even more now, since it released. So this is an increase of about 80% more than last year. And I got all of these little facts from the Video Games Chronicle website, which I'll link down below. But yeah, it's big. And now that E3 has, unfortunately ceased to be, I suppose Gamescom is sort of stepping up, trying to offer something new or fill that gap. So I attended for 2 days, Friday the 22nd and Saturday the 23rd of August 2025. I saw every hall that I was allowed to go in. I played a few games. I had lots of little business cards and stickers, ate a lot of snacks. But let's have a chat. Let's talk about what it was like in the halls, what I saw, the games I played, and the only problem that I actually experienced whilst I was there. 10 halls, right? This is what we're starting with. So there's a business area, which I think was just for industry attendees, retro and family space with there was a sports space, cosplay village, card and board games, events, massive indie area, merchandise, artists alley, outdoors places for food and drinks. There was a campus section for careers. There was developers areas. There was a creator co-working space. Some of the halls were split. So hall 10 was huge and across 2 floors. So that was split into 4 parts. Then 6, 7, 8, 9 was wholly computer, console, handheld gaming, I believe. I think I managed to see every hall apart from the business bit, and there was like a pure event bit, which I think was for some main stage stuff. It was relatively easy to get around. Actually, it was not too bad. Obviously, in such a massive space, it's going to be hard sometimes, but there was maps, there was directions, there was signs up saying, this thing is in this hall. Because there's so many people, you just have to follow the flow sometimes. And getting into the halls right at the end, so for example 7 and 8, that was a bit long occasionally. You had to go outside and you had to go outside and walk down a ramp and then go in a back entrance and then whatnot. But that's fair enough. There was 360,000 people, so what are you going to do? So the very first thing I did was to go and see World of Warcraft. Obviously, it's the main reason I was going. I've been playing for over a decade now, I think 11 years possibly. And I just always get excited about it, about expansion announcements. So seeing as this year there were so many new things, expansion, housing, allied races, various other changes to the game, I just thought, well, let's go. I'll actually make an entirely separate video just about World of Warcraft at Gamescom and what I learned. So I'll go into more detail there. But for now, the booth looked amazing. I'm just not really used to events like this. So when I was reading about it and, it was saying, oh, there's a stage. And I thought, how on earth do you fit a stage in a booth? and well, you fit it by making the booth the entire width of the hall. So that was my naivety shining through. I just didn't realize how big these things were. Um, but yeah, so it was huge. They had a whole recreation of, so they had a stage, they had seating, they had a whole full-sized recreation of a WoW themed house. Um, and you could go in and play the new housing mode for a bit, which I managed to do. That was the first thing I did. Um, and it was so much better than I imagined. I don't really know what I was thinking. It's more, looks like, and it felt like it's going to be more than just here's a room and you decorate it. So I'll go into more detail about that in my other video, but there'll be whole neighborhoods and everything. There's quite a lot to do, lots of functionality. So yeah, that looks exciting. So what was it like in general inside? So there were 1,568 exhibitors, apparently, from 72 countries. So it was crowded, chocker, lots of, lights, camera action, noise, activities, giveaways, Q&As, gameplay. Sometimes because the halls are full, with such huge, massive booths, obviously sometimes, sound design in that sort of environment is quite hard to control. But otherwise, it didn't really matter. Like, it didn't detract from my fun at all. Actually, I think they managed it quite well. So my other main event game is Love and Deepspace, which I actually only started playing a few months ago, and already I cannot stop. So I went and I queued for an hour, whole hour, to enter their booth for an allotted time of 6 minutes, which is absolutely insane. It's insane, but I just thought, well, I don't know, whatever. This is my first time here. I don't know if lads will be here in the future. I don't know when I'll next be back. Let's just do it. You had to be level 50 and you had to fill in an online form, and then you had to show proof of your game, and then you had to show proof of your identifier in-game number at the staff before you could go in, which was all very intense. I'm not very used to it coming from the sort of MMO RPG world, but I suppose, yeah, the fan bases are very different for these types of games. Anyway, and then I went in, and for 6 minutes, the only thing you could do in there was look at the cardboard cutouts of the love interests, which is just hilarious, right? I mean, whatever you I got to see other fans. I got to see cosplayers. I got a little goodie bag, actually a massive goodie bag. I didn't realize that bags were so huge. Maybe if you've been to these things before, you've seen them, but they're like a foot deep and then like 2 foot long. I don't know why. Anyway, I got a goodie bag of my favorite man, Zane. So whatever. Hopefully, maybe if they do this in the future, they can add more things, but I had a good time. So moving on about the games. What games did I actually play? So I've already said played WoW, housing game mode, lots of functionality, various decorations, lots of ways to manipulate the decorations, neighborhoods, lots of different ways to earn decorations, even if you're not like a heavy duty in raider. So I think it looks really cool. Another game I played is God Save Birmingham. So I had heard of this one, and I never play this sort of, survival zombie game. I never do this, but I thought when in Rome, I don't know, whatever. I just thought whilst I'm here, it was quite, and I was terrible at it. It's fairly involved. It requires quite a lot of concentration. But if you like careful resource management, thoughtful, historical zombies games, then this is for you. I loved the medieval setting, actually. I decided within about 5 minutes of playtime that this was not for me, but the game itself was good. It was clearly like a put together game. I also assumed I assumed it was developed by a UK company, but it's actually not. It's developed by South Korean studio Ocean Drive, um, which was also vaguely funny to me. But I suppose like if people keep making games in areas like East Asian countries that they probably consider completely normal, then it's going to happen the other way at some point too. And I got a little goodie bag at the end, so that was nice. Yes, and then I played a couple of indie games. So one called Map, which is a game about maps, unsurprisingly. So you become a cartographer and you explore, for example, an island, and you use your step count and landmark to accurately create a proper map. It was quite simple, it's quite fun, quite cute graphics, but it still required, this was another one that still required a bit of concentration, and you had to sort of think a little bit. So if you like straightforward, jaunty games that have actual goals, so it's not just ambling around crafting and collecting, then I think this would suit you. And it's by Pipapo Games, so that's cute. Then I actually happened to try another South Korean game called The Shape of Dreams. This is another genre that I've just never played before. Action roguelike. The developer is Lizard Smoothie. You can play either solo or with up to 3 friends. I did it solo. It's very dreamy. It looks like it's going to give options for personalizing your fighting style, from what I could gather. It's I really that for me I adored the art style. It was beautiful art style for this sort of top down roguelike game. So I really enjoyed this one. Finally, I tried another type of game which I've never really gone before called Arknights Endfield. It's they had a really big area too, big booth, lots of demonstrations, lots of competitions, um, lots of energy. The game itself is very energetic. It's one of those with you have you're sort of an anonymous character, and then you have a team of characters that fight by your side that I think you can sort of choose and swap out and level up. Sort of JRPG, CRPG graphics, I suppose. But I would have liked to keep playing this one for longer, actually. This one was really enjoyable. So generally, what else did I think of my first time here? Um, so the basics, queuing to get in, smooth, no issues. It was easy to get an age verification wristband. Queue moved purposefully. Once inside, it was okay to get around. But the silly negative thing that I'm sure, I mean, it's the same at all conventions. There's nowhere, there was never enough seats, ever. I just spent the whole, especially the second day, I just spent the whole time thinking, where can I sit down? It was, I saw so many people just sitting on the ground, on like random walls outside. I was wearing dresses or skirts the whole time, so I did sit on the floor for a little bit, and that was, great. Undignified look, like trying to roll around to get back off the floor. Um, but anyway, I mean, that's life. There's only, I suppose they can't put chairs everywhere because then it starts getting in the way. And next time I'm bringing I saw people with fold up stools, so I might try and bring one of them next time. Food and drink. It was okay. It was fine. There didn't seem to be many rules about what you could bring in. So I brought food, drinks, snack, which I very much recommend you do. The convention food is this. I mean, it's convention food, so it was expensive and average, but it was fine. For tickets, you just get it's one entrance. So what you scan your ticket going in, stay in, and then you scan your ticket going out, and then you can't go back in that day. And then there's lots of opportunities to buy things. So, merchandise, toys, cards, games themselves, like board games, I think. Lots of mystery bags. So, pay €30 for a themed mystery bag full of items, whatever. Saw loads of them. Overall, I really enjoyed it. I went on my own, but I was occupied the whole time. I think if I go again, I would pay for 3 days, so I don't have to squeeze as much in. Each day you can be a bit more relaxed, try more games, take more breaks. I stayed in Bonn, which is a city nearby, because Cologne, where the event was just too expensive when I was booking. I'm absolutely sure that I saw like 3 nights going for £1,000 or something absolutely insane. So um, maybe next time I can try and book earlier and actually stay in the same city, but we'll see. It was easy to get between the two of them anyway. But anyway, yeah, first time, loved it, would go again, would recommend. Just bring snacks and maybe a stall. Did you go? Have you ever been? Are you going to go next year? What did you think? Just let me know in the comments. Look out for my World of Warcraft video. And I think that's everything from me for now. So I will see you when I see you. Bye bye.